God damn it. How often have you had this reaction? I know that I encounter situations quite often where I have an instant mental reaction that I don't check. That just happens because I've trained myself so poorly in this regard. When we react to something, when we make our minds into a force with which the world has the ability to control, then we find ourselves in a torture chamber. We start thinking, why have people done this to us? Why am I still here? I thought today would be better. The tasks in and of themselves are not complicated most of the time, and even if they are, when we devote quite a bit of energy to imagining how they could have been better, or how I deserve more, then we find that we make everything much worse. We make everything, I would say, 3 times as bad as it could be. Breath. Deny anger. The best denial of anger is to wait. If you wait 20 seconds and count to 20, it is unlikely that your mind will go down the same route it would originally. The route that most of our minds go down untrained. There is no peace but the peace that we make within. We make our peace, or we make our hell. We decide upon war, or we allow ourselves to be coasted along, not resisting the waves, but riding them. The obstacle becomes the way, as a Stoic would say. It need not be something that we fret, no matter what it is. Nature teaches us every day. Instead of approaching an obstacle with the same old reaction, perhaps try thinking, nature has sent me this wonderful gift, and it will allow me to become stronger, allow me to become better within. Nobody can tell what's going on within yourself. Most of your world is internal. So take charge of it. If you take charge of your internal world, your entire life will become ecstasy. If you take complete charge, which I most certainly am nowhere near that. But these are my ideas on the matter. Most of us aren't exactly where we are by complete choice. And we imagined ourselves to be somewhere else, or perhaps a little bit better off, perhaps maybe further along in school, or working on a project that for some reason just kept on getting put off. We didn't have the energy, we didn't have the time, and all those opportunities, those obstacles that become stagnated, are like boulders dropped on our foot from high above. We had the opportunity to avoid them long ago, but the closer they get, the bigger that boulder is. The first step is not fretting. The first step is allowing yourself to observe how you react so you know how to temper your reaction in the future. Compartmentalize the actions after you become frustrated. Do not breathe evenly and do not think one thought after another because a reactionary thought will bring many incorrect thoughts, unskillful thoughts. It's always good to have perspective on the moment. We often get so trapped in our heads that we ignore all the little things that we could learn from or that we could enjoy. Now, you might say, I was talking about how our internal world is bigger than the external. That is true, but those little details are experienced by our internal world. We can have joyous reactions even in the smallest things, even at a moment's notice. We don't have to plan to have a good experience later on by buying something or drinking something or smoking something or perhaps indulging in a TV show that isn't that good or helpful. We plan for future ecstasies and we lose the ones that are in the moment. Find yourself a seat within yourself. Step back from yourself during the day and observe how you observe. think on how you're thinking. This might seem repetitive, maybe even difficult. Maybe it doesn't make any sense at all. But just observe. You'll find that you are somebody who is far more capable than you thought you were once you realize all the little mistakes that are made, that we make every day in our thinking, in our understanding, and our lack of willingness to actually put ourselves in a mental place that will benefit us in the future. Do your future self a solid right now and make a plan to think on thinking. Make a plan to take your day one little step at a time. To not dwell on the thoughts or the thoughts we have about other people or trying to react to something inwardly indignant because of a supposed wrong. Choose to think on thinking. Choose to step away from the thoughts that are reactionary and that you did not create, but just happened because of a lack of self training. Once again, nobody is perfect. Nobody is utterly terrible. We're all on a spectrum in between. This spectrum is where we live, where most of us live, where most of us live for our entire lives. But at the end of our life, if we train a little bit every day, we'll make our life better and better. And by the time that our time comes at the very end, we will be blissful. But it takes time, practice, and self-understanding, which should be a prerequisite to exiting high school, but it is not. In a way, it's better to have spirituality and philosophy than religion per se, because you get down to the bread and butter of what makes you you, instead of looking at the macrocosmic picture and all the forces that are vast. It starts with the little tiny things. It starts with those little endurances, those little self-disciplines. And they can make a wondrous life if you choose to do all the little things. Thank you very much for listening. I hope this helps. I hope you find yourselves, and all of you, have a wondrous day and hell life.